Okay, now we're going to look at lesson 2.07, and this is the verb I, H-A-Y. Even though it looks like hey, it is pronounced I, as in I am or I see with my eye. So that's how you're going to say it, and it has two meanings in Spanish. It means either there is, if you're talking about one thing, or there are. So you can translate it either way. And if there isn't something, then you'd say no I is what you would put in the no in front of the verb. So for example, hay libros en la mochila. Are there books in the backpack? Sí, hay cuatro. Yes, there are four. So those are some ways that you can use the verb I. You want to make sure that you read all these sentences very carefully and look at the examples. Remember, your assignments are always going to reflect or look very similar to what you do in the lesson. So here, notice there is also cuántos or cuántas is another question word. So cuántas cosas hay, how many things are there, or cuántos, okay, meaning how much or how many. So that is the main concept for 2.07. Notice it says practice the new vocabulary words that you've learned, make flashcards, study, study, study. You're going to do the work file and check your answers as always. And now we're going to go ahead and move to the assessment. So there are two assignments for this lesson. The first one is a discussion voice activity, which we're going to go to in a minute. And the second one is a writing activity. So let's take the writing activity first. It says, imagine you just walked into your new classroom. Write 5 sentences. So you're totally going to have 5 sentences describing what things there are there. So you're going to use the verb I. And you're going to say where they are, for example, or just what you see. For example, you might say, there is a computer in the class, there is a piece of paper on the desk, etc., etc., okay? So make sure that your sentences make sense and that they reflect the vocabulary that you've learned in this module. So, hay una computadora en la clase. There is a computer in the class would be an example of a sentence that you could use. Now we're going to look at the discussion voice activity, which is very similar. So we're going to go to the discussion group. We're going to go to the activity. Let me move this over. We're going to go to the 2.07. And we're going to click on Ms. Borquez, your Spanish teacher. And you're going to get the question here, and it might be cut off in your version. Let me move it over. There we go. ¿Qué hay en tu mochila? ¿Cuántas puertas hay en tu casa? So those are the two questions that you're going to answer. ¿Qué hay en tu mochila y cuántas puertas hay en tu casa? Now, the instructions do say to put it on this voice board, but if you could do us a favor and just go straight to your assessments. And if you could go ahead and find your assessment for 2.07 discussion voice, and if you could just add it in right here for us, that helps us greatly when we are trying to do the activity. So if you could do that, that would be great. So go ahead and put it into your assessment tab. You do not have to put it on the discussion board. Thank you very much. I hope you have a better understanding of the verb I, which means there is or there are, or if you're asking a question, is there or are there. Thank you.